Thank you. I'm Martin Tarley. I'm with Nebo by GMO. So what is Nebo? Nebo is a new venture founded within a mature asset management firm. So what problem are we solving? The problem that we're solving is there's a gap between financial planning and asset management. Plans and portfolios are not aligned. Now, we know this is a problem because we've been out asking advisors. And we've run a few webinars over the last couple of years, and we've asked about 400 respondents, do you struggle aligning your client's financial plan with their portfolio? And 58% of the people said yes. We asked them, do you observe a gap between financial planning and asset management? And 89% of the people said yes. So how does Nebo solve this problem? The key to solving this problem is a big idea. The big idea is that risk is not volatility. Instead, risk is that you don't have the money that you need when you need it. And what Nebo does is to build portfolios to minimize that risk. So at the heart of Nebo is a portfolio construction engine that minimizes the risk that the client doesn't have what they need when they need it. In the screenshot here, on the right-hand side is information about the client. It's their age, it's what return do they need from their assets in order to achieve their goals. Nebo is takes a very goals-oriented approach. On the left-hand side of the screen is information about the advisory firm. This is their investment schema. Nebo is fully open architecture from an asset management standpoint. I'll explain a little bit more about what I mean by that in a second. So Nebo takes information about the client, information about the advisory firm, the investment schema, the views on the asset classes, et cetera, and builds portfolios that minimizes the risk that the client doesn't have what they need when they need it. Now, there are a number of really interesting nuances that Nebo builds into the process. One of those is that it's not enough to have information about what you think about markets now. Nebo needs information about the full spectrum of the future and incorporates the term structure of expected returns. Another way to think about Nebo is it tells you where on the efficient frontier you should be. How much volatility risk do you need to bear in order to minimize shortfall, the risk that you don't have what you need when you need it? And sometimes single period mean variance optimal portfolios are not optimal from a multi-period perspective. But risk aversion is not the driving force. Not having what you need when you need it and minimizing that shortfall is the driving force behind Nebo. Now, Nebo is not a financial planning tool. Nebo integrates with financial planning tools, whether it's Money Guide Pro, eMoney, Right Capital. We actually have a client that has their own financial planning tool, and that's integrated there as well. But the approach that Nebo takes is to invert the process. The standard process is to start with a risk profile. Nebo doesn't start with a risk profile. Nebo starts with the idea is what does the client need from their financial assets in order to achieve their goal and then minimize the risk that they don't have what they need when they need it. Some other interesting elements that we build into Nebo, which are really important from a viability assessment perspective, are the way we do Monte Carlo simulations. Standard Monte Carlo simulations assume asset prices are a random walk. Nebo allows you to build mean reversion into your asset return modeling, and that has a very important implications for not only the portfolios that you own, but the viability assessments that you do. Nebo also has, on the investment management side, extensive customized model building capabilities. We can build multi-level models from the asset class level all the way down to the security level. These models reflect the advisory firm's investment philosophy. Nebo is also open architecture, both from an implementation standpoint and from your views on the market standpoint as well. The CIO dashboard contains market views for each building block. This is what drives the expected return term structures that I showed you earlier. So in the end, Nebo builds target portfolios with a multi-level structure that minimize the risk that the client doesn't have what they need when they need it. These can be sent directly into rebalancers. We currently have an API integration with Orion Eclipse, and Nebo's multi-level modeling capabilities allow us to integrate with essentially any rebalancer, and we have a lot of ongoing work in that department. So what does this mean for the clients? For the clients, they're telling us this is revolutionary for them, just like a direct indexing approach of a few years ago. What is the industry saying about Nebo? We were very fortunate to be named the 2022 Industry Disruptor Award. recipient for the wealthmanagement.com awards, Michael Edisis, who's a well-known industry skeptic, recently wrote a review about us, and he says, "I found Nebo to be the best platform for financial advisors I have ever seen." Recently, we presented at the T3 conference, and Bob Vera says, "Nebo is a portfolio design engine that fills an important gap in the fintech space, the portfolio design toolkit that sits between planning and asset management." We offer a comprehensive array of value propositions. If you're interested, if these ideas resonate with you, the idea that risk for a client is that they don't have what they need when they need it. If you struggle with aligning the plan with the portfolio, we can run you through a very simple but comprehensive set of questions to understand how you're running your business and whether or not Nebo would be a good fit for you. And with that, I'll end.